Hello everyone, Namaste Ji. So welcome to ODA class. So in this session, we are going to discuss some of the most important questions that have been asked in the board examinations. So in the yesterday's class, you have seen that Mahima ma'am has discussed some of the questions from the topic of genetics only. So we'll be talking about some of the most important questions that have been asked from this chapter called genetics. So if you want to learn all the concepts from the teachers from ODA class, what you can do, you can join this most innovative learning app from the ODA class. So we have this bridge course that starts every Monday, right? So there are lots of features which are available on the app. So what do you have? So the duration is 1 week. So what do you get? You get three maths and three science classes in this bridge course program. So each and every student, they also get their personal teacher, right? Mentor teachers are provided to each and every student so that their doubts can be resolved in time. What else? You have you have homework on the app itself, and there will be regular tests on the app itself. You can do both subjective as well as objective questions, and books and PDF are available in the form of e-material, so you can download these material. So what you have to do is you just have to download this app from the link given in the description box, so you can go there and you can download it. So before I begin this session, let me introduce myself. So hello everyone, my name is Kamal Pandey. So earlier I was a researcher in the field of cancer biology at NIT Rourkela. So I've been teaching for past few years now. So let us begin with this amazing session. So this was a question that was asked in 2015 board examinations. So the question is, how do Mendel experiment shows that the traits may be dominant or recessive, right? So another question, this was a similar kind of question which is asked in 2017 board exams. This is, how did Mendel explain that it is possible that a trait is inherited but it is not expressed in an organism? So let us find out the answers of these questions and how you can write these answers. So some traits are surely inherited, but they may not be expressed in an organism. Okay, so such hidden traits, these are referred to as recessive traits. So in the presence of these kinds of dominant traits, these recessive traits are not able to express themselves. Just imagine, will this dog be able to do something in front of this giant? No. So this small dog has become a recessive one, while this giant is a dominant one. So in the presence of these dominant traits, the recessive characters are not able to show themselves. So what Mendel did? Mendel explained this concept with the help of a monohybrid cross. Okay, so with the help of monohybrid cross, what he did? He took pure plants. So what are these pure plants now? So pure plants were generated by Mendel by self-pollinating these plants. So what he did? He took pure tall plant as parents and pure dwarf plants as parents. So how we can generate these type of plants? What he did, he took a pure plant. That means that if he self-pollinate these plants, if he's self-pollinating this pure tall plant, he will always get 100% tall plants. What is the probability? That is 100% tall plants will be found from pure tall plants. Now what about pure dwarf plants? Again, when he self-pollinated these plants, he will always get 100% pure dwarf plants. So what he did, he took these pure tall and pure dwarf plants. So in the F1 generation, what happened? In the F1 generation, he found 100% tall plants. 100% were tall plants. Now this was a big surprise. So Mendel thought, what happened to these dwarf traits? What happened to them? Why they are not being expressed in the F1 generation? Why there is no plant, there is no dwarf plant in the F1 generation? Now he was so surprised. So what he did? So first we'll look into what Mendel thought about this and what is the mathematical and genotypic aspect of these kinds of phenomena. So what he did, as I told you, he took pure tall plant. So the genotype of these pure tall plant will be capital T and capital T. Talking about pure dwarf plant, it will be small t and small t. The gametes which will be formed, the two types of gametes, it can form capital T or capital T. If I'm talking about the pure dwarf, it can also have two type of gametes, small t or small t. Now, what is the probability of having the plants in the F1 generation? In the F1 generation, if you see the probability, there will be 100% tall plants. 100% will be tall plants. And what will be the genotype of these plants? It will be capital T and small t. And all the plants will be tall plants. So this was the result of F1 generation. Now, what he did in the monohybrid cross experiment performed by Mendel, he crossed dwarf plant with the tall plants, and the result was all plants were tall in the F1 generation. Now, what next? He took F1 plants, okay, and he self-fertilized these plants in the F1 generation. So these are the F1 plants from the F1 generation. He took one of the plants, and what happened? The self-fertilization result gave this ratio. Now this is amazing. What he found, that the dwarf plants, these came back in the F1 generation. So this is the F1 generation, and these plants are the second generation, that is F2 generation. In the F2 generation, there were three plants which were tall and one plant was short. So this genotypic ratio, that is 3:1, this is the magical number which he got in the F2 generation. So what he found after self-fertilization of the F1 generation, it was capital T small t. So what will be the genotypes? The gametes formed will be capital T small t. While from this, it will be again capital T and small t. So in the F2 generation, what is going to happen? You have these males. Let us say these are males and these are the females. So let us find the probability of having the different types of plants in the F2 generation. This will be capital T and capital T. If this happens, the second chance is this goes and fuses with this plant and it is capital T and small t. And if this goes and fuses with this plant, it is small t and capital T. And here you get what? Small t and small t. Now, what is the genotype? That is 3:1 ratio you are getting. This is the magical number. Three plants are tall. One, two, three. All these three plants are tall, while only one plant is dwarf. So what you find, students, that in the F2 generation, the dwarf plant is coming back. It is coming back again. But in the F1 generation, it was not present. So this confirms that the dwarf characteristic, it was present in the generation, but it is not showing its character. Okay, so when the F1 tall plants were crossed with each other, both tall and dwarf pea plants were obtained in the F2 generation. So reappearance of the dwarf pea plants in the F2 generation, it proves that the trait was inherited, but it was not expressed, but it showed in the F2 generation. So this is the answer that you can written. So dwarfness traits of the plants, these were not lost, but are suppressed in the F1 generation, and they show in the F2 generation. So this is the type of answer that you can write, and you can take the screenshot of this slide also. So if you enjoy these type of learnings, you can download the ODA application by going in the description box. So you have bridge course program that starts every Monday. So you have lots of features available. The duration will be 1 week. You have 3 maths and 3 science classes over here. Personal teacher, as I told, will be provided to each and every student. So homework on the app, tests are also available on the app itself. And you can download the study material in the form of PDF also. So the link for This is given in the description box. You can download it right now. And you also have lots of gifts available. So you can answer the questions on the ODA app and you can win lots of prizes that are available in the platform. So thank you so much, students, for attending this session. I hope you had a wonderful session. Thank you so much.